Question 74. 3 years ago, the average price of a movie ticket was $8.75, and now it's $10.87. What are the annual multiplier and percent increases? What are the annual multiplier and the percent increase? So I guess the assumption here is this is not growing in a linear fashion because they're asking what the multiplier is and the percent increase. We're also asked to sketch a graph and make a table for this situation. So I think I want to actually start by organizing my thinking with a table. So I know the price now, right? I'm going to say that this is year 0 and x will be the years from now and y will be the price. But right now at year 0, the price is $10.87. And I know that not last year, or not 2 years ago, but 3 years ago, the price was $8.75. So I've done these types of problems quite a few different ways. If you look at all of them, you can watch those. Sometimes I write a system of equations. In this case, I think I'm just going to think about it using the table. So I know that if I start with the number 875 and I multiply it by my multiplier once, I'm going to get year -2. If I multiply that by my multiplier again, I would get year -1. And if I did it one more time, right, I would be at year 0. So 875 times BBB, right, $8.75 times b to the third, $8.75 times BBB, right, is $10.87. Okay, okay. So I'm going to take the $10.87 and I'm going to divide that by 8.75. And I get a decimal that's not pretty. There's a lot of digits on here, but 1087 divided by 875 is, I'll write all the digits I see on my screen. I see 1.242285714. Well, clearly I'm not going to be playing with that as my multiplier, although I could leave it in my calculator screen. But oh, actually, that is not the multiplier, is it? That's what b cubed is. So b cubed is, actually, I'll just leave this as a ratio for now. $10.87 divided by $8.75. I'm better off leaving this like this anyways. Now if I want to figure out what b is, the thing that we've been doing is raising both sides to the 1/3 power. If I leave a little bit more room for that on this side, right, there's b to the third, and I'm going to take b to the third. Oh no, I didn't want to do that. I'm going to take b to the third, go away, and I'm going to, not you, and I'm going to raise this side to the 1/3 power. The reason why I'm going to do that is b to the third to the 1/3 is going to give me b, and I'm going to raise the other side to the same 1/3 power. So when I do this, I now know b is, drum roll. So if I'm going to take and I'm going to go ahead and grab, and I'm going to do this. I'm doing this on my physical calculator, so you don't see this, but I'm going to grab that ratio. So I'm literally entering 10.87 divided by 8.75 in parentheses on my calculator, and I'm going to raise that to the 1 divided by 3 power. And when I do that, I get, well, let me show you, let me write down what I get. So what I get for b is 1.07499 etc. So I'm going to take this value b and I'm going to round it to 1.074. And I'll leave it there. This is not a dollar value, so don't I shouldn't be rounding this to 1.08. I think that's too high. This is just what I'm multiplying by each year, and it's actually slightly below. No, this is slightly above the multiplier. So my answers might be a little bit higher, but that's pretty good. So I guess the question is if this is my multiplier, oh, I can answer that, right? If this is my multiplier, what is my percent increase? So remember, normally what we do is I say, hey, it's a 3% increase. So you take 0.03 and you add 1. Well, if I take this and I subtract 1, I get 0.075, which is 7.5%. So I would say that my multiplier is this number 1.075, and that represents a 7.5% increase each year. So what I haven't done is I haven't filled in my table of values, and I haven't made a graph for this either. So let me quickly grab my calculator and see if I can fill in the table of values here. So I've got this multiplier, and I think I'm going to leave all the digits that I see on my calculator screen. I'm going to leave all of these and use that number each time. So I'll take the 8.75 and I'll multiply by that number, and then I get I get 9.41. So I'm adding some values here. This is 9.41, not part of my original table, but it's what it is now. If I take that and I multiply that times my multiplier again, I get 10.11. So this is $10.11. I know what I get at year 0, but let me go year 1, 2, 3. I'll stop at year 3. So at year 1, I'm going to take the $10.87, which was year 0, and I'm going to multiply that by my multiplier, which is 1 point. And I get $11.60 if I round up. $11.68. No, it rounds to 69. $11.69. And I'm going to take that number and I'm going to multiply that by my multipliers on the calculator stack, and it's getting harder to see. $12.56. 12.56. And then the last time I'll do it, I'm going to take the 1256 and I'm going to multiply that times my multiplier one last time, and I get $13.50. $13, yeah, not 51. $13.50. So I think I'm just going to leave it to the viewer to complete the graph. I don't think sketching a graph for this situation's terribly difficult. I do think that, taking a moment to think about the scale of these values is important. I think probably, like if this is 5 and this is 10, that would probably be adequate. And I might run a different scale on my x-axis and call this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, -1, -2, -3 years. All right, that's it. That seems. I'm sorry that I should probably have the on-screen calculator when I'm doing that. I'm sorry I didn't do that, but this is what I got. The big thing here that I think that the big takeaway is the fact that we can look at this whole chunk right here, right, and we can figure out what B is by thinking about we've got a value of B and we multiply it by a certain number of times and it grows to a new number. So when I take this $8.75 and I multiply it by 3 factors of B, right, B, 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 I get $10.87. So solving that is not particularly difficult, right? It's just dividing both sides by 875 and then raising both sides to the 1/3 power. Now, if I had to do this in 6 steps, I would be raising to the 6th power, right? Or 7 steps to the 7th power. And then instead of raising to the 1/3, I'd be raising to the 1/7 power. So that's the heart of the problem, right? And I hope you found our time together helpful.